Flora here. Today's message is something that's been requested, so I'm going to try my very best to share some tips on dealing with conflict effectively in a marriage. Emphasis on marriage simply because I believe that the stakes are different and the dynamic is different, and it's not to say that you cannot apply these principles in a non-marital relationship, but I just felt that it was important to sort of make the difference. So it doesn't matter how in love you are, how compatible you are, how close you are. You know, in your marriage, there will come a time where there will be conflict. So then how to make the most of those situations. There's two. What I found useful is this two element. There's the perception element of this, and there's the practical element of it. So talking about perception, the first one is I want to sort of encourage you to reconsider what you think conflict is. It's definitely is not an opportunity for you to bail out. It's not an indicator that you don't love each other anymore. I know at the beginning of my marriage I used to think, oh, we're arguing, does that mean that we don't love each other anymore? But that's wrong. And number three, it's also not a win or lose contest between partners. Yeah, so that is perception number one to challenge. And then perception number two is it's not a win. No, it's not me against my partner in the conflict. It's us, i.e. my partner and I, having to deal with this situation. Even if the situation arises as a result of something that I have done or he has done, it's still us, this team, having to overcome this problem. Yeah. So what then is conflict? Conflict is more an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to gain some new insight. It's an opportunity to move your relationship to the next level. Yeah. Now, in terms of the practical aspect, first of all, it's important to understand that not all fights you need to fight. Sometimes just let go. You know, it's okay to agree to disagree sometimes. It does wonders to your stress level, and it does wonders to the peace and harmony in your home. So unless it's something that you feel very strongly about, let it go. Okay. Now, it's something that you feel strongly about and it's something that, you know, really needs to get sorted. What do you do? First of all, you must have heard it say there's a time and a place for everything. Well, it's even more so when it comes to conflict. So again, this is both of you agreeing a suitable time and a suitable location to have that discussion, to have that conversation. And that would do a number of things. First of all, it would help you to clear your mind, you know, and be clear about what exactly is wrong. Secondly, it will give you time to sort of calm down and sort of in terms of your emotions and that, because in the heat of the moment, when your emotions are all over the place, we all know it's not the best time to communicate effectively. And thirdly, you can use that time to not only reflect on what is going on, but also think about what you want to happen. What is the ideal outcome for you? So before the discussion, start thinking about what would you like? What do you think the best outcome is for you as a couple? Always. Yeah. So you've picked the time, you've picked the location. Be clear before the discussion about what you're trying to achieve. Some examples could be you're trying to, clarify something. You're trying to establish something. You're trying to restore peace and harmony in your home. You're trying to, you just be clear about the outcome. And then during the discussion now, it's important for each party to be listening, to be willing to listen to the other party with the genuine intention of hearing. Okay, hearing the other party from their point of view, understanding their perspective. So you have to be willing to hear them with a view to understand them and to forgive them if that is required. Yeah. So, and that is expected of both parties, obviously. And then in terms of giving feedback, focus on the action, the behavior, and the consequences as opposed to the personal qualities of your partner. So for instance, one example I can find is, honey, when you don't empty the trash the night before, it means that in the morning I then have to do it, which delays me and the children when I'm rushing to drop them, something to that effect, as opposed to, you never do this because you're so lazy, or you never do this because you're so unreliable. Not the most constructive way, and not the best way to sort of move things forward. Yeah, so I hope this sort of example makes sense. So give feedback, but focus on the behavior, focus on the action, focus on the consequences. And then in terms of, as a couple, then something that I find useful is, as a couple, to ask yourself, how can we win from this? How can we benefit from this? How can we gain from this situation? And finally, I want to sort of remind you, I want to remind you to think about the greater purpose of why you're together, the greater, more interesting, more fulfilling stuff that you're doing together as a couple, whether it's raising a family, whether it's building a business, whatever it is that you're doing as a family that is so much more fulfilling, so much more enriching. And there was a post, I put a post to that effect a while back, and it said something like, couples who are on purpose do not have time to let arguments linger. They move on quickly because they're too busy building an empire. They're too busy building a legacy. So I think that sort of sums it up nicely. I really do hope that these examples make they're useful. Now, it may well happen that you've done all that and you're still not managing to find a solution. My advice is, first of all, just take time out. Again, both of you agree, we're not getting anywhere with this. Let's talk about the same thing tomorrow or whenever. And, with a clearer mind, hopefully you would have gained some more insight. You would have been better off than when you started. But yeah, let's reconvene. And if after that you still can't get anywhere, then my advice would be to seek, external help. So have a trusted relative, trusted friend, someone that you both respect, someone that would have the couple's interest at heart, not just one partner's interest, but the couple's interest at heart, a pastor, a minister, a marriage counselor, if it comes to that. But yeah, I do hope you've been blessed. Remember that you're blessed.